Hey guys, James Melfi with Detailed Image. Today we are going over the proper wash process, products, techniques, procedure, when to do it a certain way, when not to, different climates, all kinds of crazy stuff. With any sort of detailing, at least for me personally, testing different things has always been really, really important. And there's no one procedure that's going to work the best. There's no one kind of set way to do everything. It's always a combination. It's kind of finding out what works best for you with your vehicle, in your climate, in your situation, that gets you the results that you're after. That's kind of the key to everything. So, as we're kind of talking about this, take away as much as you can, go out into different forums and different websites and YouTube and kind of cultivate as much knowledge as you can and then apply that to your area and in your car. And I think you'll get the most out of kind of what we're talking about. I'll tell you a little story. Long ago when I was kind of starting out on in the detailing world, the Detailed Image blog for me was like the be all end all place, and I was obsessed with it. And I would read, constantly. And I was actually on a flight to California to go to do some training out there. And it was funny. I went on the Detailed Image blog. I literally went to Staples. I got like a binder and I printed out like 15 articles. And I had them all like in order and I read them on the plane and just went totally geeked out, went crazy, and just read a bunch. It was like a detailing palooza weekend. And I guess that the moral of the story is that it was just at that time it was all about just kind of figuring out different styles, talking to different people, talking to other detailers, talking to just enthusiasts, manufacturers, and just trying to figure out a way to get the result I was after. And from talking to those people, there was no one product or one process. I kind of developed, I took their styles and kind of made it my own. And that's, I guess, the moral of the story is, take what you can away from it, but then make it your own. That's at least an important thing that kind of on my personal journey. So that I thought was something I wanted to share with you guys. A quick side note: we are doing another contest. So you just have to like, comment, and share this particular post, and you get a chance to win $25 on Detailed Image, which is great. You can pick up some cool car wash related products or whatever you'd like, and so that's cool. So just like, comment, and share, and you'll be randomly selected to win that. So that's cool. I kind of wanted to start out with when we're talking. I feel like car washing is such like a broad topic. It's huge. We could talk about it for days. But when it comes to washing, there's so many different types of car washes, right? There's rinseless, there's waterless, there's the 2 bucket method, there's the 2 bucket method with foam gun, there's the 2 bucket method with like a foam lance. There's just so many different ways. So as the video we did was kind of more of traditional 2 bucket wash, foam cannon, longer wash process. But keep in mind, there's so many different ways that you could go about cleaning your car if it's dirty. So don't say I have to do it that way. Again, pick up different styles and see which one works best for you. For me, there is to decide which type of wash you want to do. There's 6 overall variables that you should think about. One is, what type of vehicle do I have? Is it a huge, brand 3500? Is it a Mini Cooper? What type of paint do I have? Is it a soft paint? Is it a hard paint? Is it a medium, kind of right in the middle, clear coat hardness? What is my climate? Do I live in a humid climate? Is it like crazy, hot, super dry, hot sun? So those kind of things kind of go into to figuring out what type of wash process. Location. So where are you going to do your physical wash? Are you in a shaded area? Do you not have shade? Are you not going to have access to water? Do you have restrictions in your area? The other 2 variables are going to be how do you drive your vehicle, or where do you drive it? Is it going to be something where you're constantly on gravel and it's going to have kind of a layer of dust on it constantly? So that kind of will also play into that. And then the last one is going to be, what type of protection do you have currently on the paint? Is it a wax? Is it a sealant? Is it a coating? With that in mind, you're going to basically want to choose products that kind of coincide or work together with any one of those protective products. And if you want to get the most out of those products or have the most longevity, you want to use certain products that are going to work with those. So that's a kind of a whole bunch of stuff, but just stuff to think about when you're trying to, okay, hey, I'm in California, I have a lot of water restrictions. Okay, maybe I have to do a rinseless wash or a waterless wash. My car is absolutely filthy. I might want to do a traditional 2-bucket wash with the foam cannon for that little bit more lubricity. So just those kind of little variables and nuances kind of go into deciding, what process do I want to choose. So that's that in a nutshell. I kind of wanted to start off a little bit with a couple of questions and kind of work through some questions that we've got already here on social media and kind of just kind of go from there. If I don't get to your question initially from here on the live feed, I will absolutely go back and answer that question for you. So please, comment below and I'll be happy to answer those for you guys. As first question, foam lance / foam cannon, whatever you'd like to call it, is it needed? Is it necessary? For me, I've always been a fan. I've always liked it. With the thought process of this, I always thought that the more lubricity that you had on the surface, the safer the wash was going to be. Now, do you have to, throw 5 inches of foam on there and just, no. Is it necessary? No. Is it safer? Probably not, But is it, it's more down to personal preference. If you like a crazy amount of foam on the car, do it if you're getting the results that you like. I personally like it. I think, obviously you get a nice glide with the mitt, and I just have this, it's more of like this mental feeling that I have something visible between, the painted surface and my wash mitt. And it's, for me, it's, could be a total psychological thing. But for me, it's something that it's just, I feel better, when I'm doing that type of wash process. So it's a great tool. Obviously a foam gun is kind of one step down as far as like how much, soap gets dispensed. I used foam guns for the longest time. Still an awesome tool, for guys that don't have a pressure washer. Just something I think is extremely useful either way. But also look at it like this. First, inspect your vehicle. See how dirty it is. And based on the dirtiness level, then you can kind of decide what type of tools you want to use. Meaning, if your car is absolutely filthy and you're worried about rubbing dirt into your paint, maybe using a foam gun, foam cannon, is going to give you that little bit of extra kind of safety while you're doing that. If it's not that bad, say you just went for a couple of drive, you kind of just want a little refresh before a car show or something, rinsing it down and going straight into the 2-bucket method, that might be your go-to way to do it. So that's how I do my washes, is always based on how dirty it is. So if it's really nasty, doing a pre-treat, doing the 2-bucket method, using the foam cannon, that's going to be kind of my bread and butter. But if it's just something where it's like it's already been detailed, it already has a protective product on there, wax sealant, what have you, why not do a quicker process? A lot of questions I get is, how long does this, safe wash process take? And if your car, and that so depends on how dirty it is. And if it's super nasty, I know I take sometimes too much time because I'm so worried about scratching it. On the flip side, if it's super clean, it might be something that doesn't take too much time. So just, again, kind of going back to the variables of what wash process to use, that kind of all comes into play when you're deciding what tools should I purchase and how to go about it like that. Let's see. Another question: a pressure washer, is it necessary? I like a pressure washer. Not for every application. Like I said, if the car is dirty, which mine usually it is, I do like about 120 miles a day, and it's always got like a nice thick layer of dirt on there. So the pressure washer for me is aiding in removing that dirt in a touchless manner before I ever have to put any wash media on there. The same thing, at least in New England, on a lot of modern cars, you have the carpeted wheel wells, and they just get loaded with dirt, grime, sand, salt, you name it. And the only real way to get that out and to have it be totally clean is a pressure washer. So for me, in my area, a pressure washer is a real essential tool. But for you, it might not be. A garden hose with a foam cannon or something like that, that might be your perfect tool. It's all about, again, deciding which one is going to be best for you. Let's see. Favorite shampoo? I like a shampoo that has some nice foaming action. So something like Chemical Guys Honeydew Snow Foam, Geon Foam, CarPro Reset. Those are products that I think work well for my car, that work well for protective products that I have on it. I particularly have a coating. So those particular shampoos work well with coatings. They foam well, which is kind of my personal preference, and they work well. But again, find one that you love, that you like to use often, and that works for you. And you'll be happy with it. You can't really go wrong with any shampoo. It's just more about, what ingredients does it have in it? Does it have a wash and wax? If you like a little bit of added hydrophobic properties, that's great. Use that. And that's the real all I can really say about shampoo. But obviously an important tool. Moving into best ways to dry. I use a combination of two methods. I use either compressed air or something like the Metrovac, Master Blaster Revolution, and microfiber towels. Again, it's more, on a more sensitive finish, I would probably use more compressed air or the Master Blaster more, because I just want to minimize the time that I have to wipe, or minimizing the times that I have to wipe the car down. If I can wipe the car down, once or twice after I do my wash process with a quick detailer, opposed to having to wipe it down for the drying, wipe it down for the quick detailer. Obviously, you wiped it with the wash mitt. It just minimizes the time that something is coming in contact with the paint. And that's really where scratches lie, is when you're taking some sort of media and rubbing it onto the paint. Obviously, you want lubrication between that, but it doesn't always happen. And in the drying method, unless you're using a drying aid or a quick detailer, which I do recommend as a great tool, you're just basically taking a microfiber towel to water and could induce some marring. So compressed air, great tool to get in kind of the little nooks and crevices. And then if you don't have that tool and you want to just use microfiber towels, I definitely 100,000% recommend some sort of quick detailer in conjunction with that microfiber towel. So what I would do is I take a panel, still has a little bit of water on it. I would mist that quick detailer right on the panel, and then take that and then maybe a little bit into the towel itself, and then wipe to basically remove that water. And that quick detailer is becoming the lubrication. So where the soap and the wash mitt, the soap was the lubrication for the wash mitt, now this quick detailer is the lubrication between the towel and the paint. The towel and the paint. So all about lubrication when it comes to wiping down your paintwork in any way. So I hope that was a little bit helpful. When it comes to wash media, which one do you recommend? Traditional microfiber wash mitts are great. I like those a lot. The lamb's wool wash mitts also have a great place in any arsenal. I've just kind of switched up my process lately, where we're using a lot of microfiber towels instead of wash mitts. And what we'll do is we'll get white microfiber towels, and we'll use those as our wash mitt. And the reason it is if you have a lime green wash mitt, you don't necessarily see the dirt as it's being picked up off the paint and then into the bucket. With a white microfiber towel, it is boom right in your face. You can see a definitive dirt line, and you can know when to flip that towel. And the nice thing where a wash mitt is two-sided, a microfiber towel, you have many, many sides, and as each side gets dirty, you're basically flipping, 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 and you're always having a clean side touch the paintwork. Something we just started kind of doing more often in our day-to-day process here at the shop, and I think it's been really, really beneficial. Going into kind of the little nuances of the two bucket method. Two bucket method for me is very simple, and it's this: you basically have one bucket for your soap solution, one bucket for your fresh water, and as you're moving through your wash process, the dirtier it is, the smaller area you want to wash at one time. And then once you basically do a few passes with that wash mitt, you're going to take that now dirty wash mitt, dunk it into the rinse bucket, release the contamination, and then go back into the soap bucket and move on. That way you're kind of minimizing the time that you had, or I'm sorry, minimizing the risk of scratching the paint as you move around. You basically just don't want to reintroduce dirt that you took off the car and then just put it back on in another area. So something to think about there. My last question that I have is all-purpose cleaner, and when to use it, where to use it, how to use it. Is it something that's going to mess up the paint? What to do. And the answer to that question is there's no real definitive answer to that question. There's a lot of variables that go into that. For me, I always have a bunch of different diluted all-purpose cleaners, and they're each suited for certain parts of the car. So you have one all-purpose cleaner for the tires and wheel wells, which is going to be a little bit more heavier strength. You have an all-purpose cleaner for the door jambs, the engine bays, the exhaust tips, and then you have an all-purpose cleaner for the body, for the paintwork. The one for the body is obviously going to be more heavily diluted, and it's going to be an all-purpose cleaner that is much more sensitive or tailored to paintwork. And how you're going to be able to differentiate those is typically an all-purpose cleaner that is safer for paintwork is going to be closer to pH neutral, meaning 7 on the pH scale. Typical, like for example, like P21S Auto Wash, that has a pH balance of about 9.2, which is a much more, it's still effective, but very gentle, and is something that can aid at kind of removing that dirt layer without hurting the paint or damaging anything. The way I look at pre-treatment with all-purpose cleaner on paint is this: if the car is dirty enough to warrant an all-purpose cleaner pre-treat, then you kind of have to think of it like this: will it degrade the protection, the wax, the sealant, a coating? It very well may. But do you want to risk putting scratches in those protective products, or do you want to clean effectively, remove that layer of dirt as best you can in a touchless manner before you touch the car with a wash mitt? So it's something it's kind of a question you want to ask yourself is, if your car is filled with dirt and grime, mud, salt, nastiness, what is the most effective way to clean it? And that for me, at least in my area, has always been do a mild pre-treat, get as much of that dirt off safely, and then go in with your 2-bucket method. Just something that's worked well with me, but at the same time, do think about, okay, will I probably degrade a little bit of my protection? Sure. But it also depends on what type of all-purpose cleaner you're using. The world of all-purpose cleaners, there's so many. It's tough to say, that one is going to hurt the paint, that one's going to be safe. Check the pH scale, see what's going on with that one, and do some testing. I've done some testing in the past where certain ones have worked, certain ones I did not like. And it's all about kind of testing out on your own vehicle and seeing what's going to work the best. So that's everything. That's the main questions I had for today. Again, if you commented below, I'll be happy to get back to you and answer any individual question you guys have. Keep in mind about the contest. Just comment, like, and share to win $25 gift card. And I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you guys took something away from this. And comment below with any suggestions on how or what you guys would like to talk about. And go out there and just ask questions, read, watch YouTube videos, whatever it takes, and you'll be on the train for detailing knowledge, and it's going to be awesome. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks again.